it's Anastasia with UBTV, and today we are going to be asking students who they turn to when they're down, a video in collaboration with Nightline. So I'm joined with Hannah from Nightline, and could you please tell us a bit about what Nightline is?
So Nightline is a listening and information service for students. We're completely separate from the uni, and it's an overnight service, so from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. by the phone and instant messenger. It's confidential, non-advisory and non-judgmental, so we're just people that are impartial to help you work through your problems in whatever way you see best fit.
Have you heard of Nightline?
I haven't.
Who do you usually turn to when you're down?
Probably my family, like my mum mainly. I guess it depends how down I was. Maybe I would speak to someone like higher up, like a doctor or something, but mainly my mum or my friends.
And would you ever use like an online service or like a telephone service?
Not gonna lie, I feel like I wouldn't use a telephone service only because I know that a lot of people have had dodgy experiences with them, or just feeling like it's quite a robotic experience and the person behind the phone actually doesn't really care. But yeah, I guess I would, depending on how bad it is, but yeah, most of the experiences I've heard about with like speaking to someone online haven't been great.
So what kind of like experiences do you think people have had negative experiences with like phone line or like instant message sort of online services?
I don't know, it's like you feel like you're just one person in like a whole massive system, which doesn't really help. But then I suppose like what would be, like what else can they do? I don't know, maybe they could do better.
With Nightline, we integrate empathy a lot into our training for our volunteers. So empathetic kind of understanding towards trauma or just negative experiences will never kind of dismiss someone's problems or make them feel like their problems are too small. We deal with all sorts of problems, right from like the extremes of someone being really suicidal all the way down to like someone's worried about a friendship. It's really like such a huge range, and I think it's really important to acknowledge like all the nuances of mental health and well-being.
And what barriers do you face when accessing university mental health services?
So I think some of the things for me that prevent me from going to the uni about my mental health is I feel like it's difficult talking to like adults, or kind of like it's sort of faceless and it feels quite corporate in some ways. And I just think that because the way that universities dealt with mental health in the past hasn't always been great, and it kind of becomes like a lot of admin for me, when actually like, you know, I'd prefer to just talk to someone like my own age, or I'd be more likely to talk to someone who feels like a friend rather than a kind of like university hired person, if you know what I mean.
So Nightline is a listening and information service run for students by students.
Okay.
So everyone who is on the other end of the phone is all a University of Bristol student, will probably have similar, obviously not the same problems, but probably similar experiences or problems to you. All of our listening volunteers are obviously volunteers, so they do it because they care about mental health as well, which I feel like is really important.
Yeah.
And it's all no strings attached. You can kind of call whenever through the night, and no one's storing any of your personal details. It's all very confidential. You kind of ring, your number's not written down anywhere. And you're just not going to get harassed with any phone calls or anything if you feel like you just want to speak once and that's it, or you can ring like again and again.
I think from what you've said, that sounds like much better, much more kind of friendly, and much less sort of bureaucratic. And it's great that it's all volunteers.
Does talking to people help you when you're feeling down?
I would say that it does if I know them and that they know why I'm feeling like that. However, I would usually never speak to someone about how I'm feeling, especially if I didn't know them. And it usually would take a friend who could see that I've got something going on to then effectively force it out of me, which is something I'm trying to change, and it's probably not healthy. But I think that me, and especially a lot of my mates, like especially boys, we just don't say anything until one of us at the pub goes like, let's say, why is Johnny not coming out for the beer? Why is he not home? And we get to a point where we then all have to kind of get around him and then effectively not basically tell him that he's not all right before. Like there's been points, especially recently with some of the stuff that's happened with me, where I've been so upset and I've just pretended like I'm fine, and somebody's then told me I'm not, and that's when I've realised that I've not been all right. And I think that that's something that's very common, especially when, like in a personal instance where the things that I'm upset about are 99% my fault, that I've caused them by hurting other people and people around me. However, they're still just as upsetting to me, and that's why I won't say about it, because the guilt of what maybe I've done or whatever, I won't show people I'm upset, because I don't want them to ever feel like the victim, because I'm not, but then I still feel bad myself.
So with the emotion of shame being brought up, I think it's really important to note that as Nightline is a non-judgmental service, we're not looking to kind of teach you right or wrong or tell you that you're the problem. I think it's really important to kind of look at people's problems from like a person-centered approach, because we don't know the whole situation when people call us, so we're just looking to comfort and to guide someone through their own problems. And it's okay if you don't feel like you would like to call a stranger, but we are here to listen if you would like someone to talk through feelings of shame or any feelings that are negative that you may not feel like you can open up to those around you about, maybe because you are the person who has caused the problem or for any other reason where you feel like you can't open up to those around you. Thank you so much to UBTV for doing this video with us in aid of Nightline Awareness Week, which is where we're trying to spread awareness of Nightline across the campus here at Bristol Uni. And also, if you would like to volunteer with us, you can follow our Instagram, which is @BristolNightline, or you can email us, which is nightline.coordinator@gmail.com. And please feel free to ring us or use our instant messenger service. We're here to listen to any problem, whether that is big or small. Thank you.